Alright, in this video we're going to do order of operations with rational numbers, and we're going to look at an application problem. So first of all, on this one we have 1/2 cubed minus, in parentheses, 1/2 minus 3/4 squared times, because there's nothing here between them, -4. So remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, you're going to start with the parentheses. This one there's nothing to complete in there, or this one. This one has an operation to complete. 1/2 minus 3/4. You would have to get a common denominator. The common denominator would be 4. So we'd have to multiply the top of this by 2, bottom of this by 2 to get 2/4 minus 3/4. And that would be -1/4. So this turns into -1/4. Now our next job is to do the exponents. Please excuse. So exponents next. 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/8. -1/4 times -1/4, because this one is squared, is a positive 1/16 here. Now this minus came from here, and this turned into a positive 1/16. So now we have 1/8 minus 1/16 times -4. All right, so my dear stands for multiplication and division. We're going to do it from left to right, so we're going to complete this first. That's like -4/1. 1 times -4 is -4. 16 times 1 is 16. Now, -4/16, let's pull this over here to the side. That reduces. 4 goes into both of those, so I get -1/4. And that's what they put right here. So now I have -1/8 minus -1/4. Now, when you have minus a negative, this turns positive here. And my common denominator is going to be 8. So I have to multiply the top and bottom by 2 here. And I get 2/8. Okay, so 1/8 plus 2/8 is 3/8, and the final answer here would be 3/8. That does not reduce. Now let's look at a common application problem. Okay, common thing is preparing food for a different number of servings than the recipe gives. So here's a trick for that. You want to take the desired serving number, what you're going to do, over what the recipe says do, and multiply it by the ingredient. Let's try one. So it says a chocolate chip recipe for 5 dozen cookies requires 3/4 cups of sugar. If you want to make 8 dozen cookies, how much sugar is needed? Okay, so what you want is 8 dozen, and the recipe calls for 5 dozen. So you do 8/5 times the 3/4 cup. Let's look at it on the next page. Okay, so 8 times 3 is 24. 5 times 4 is 20. Now this will reduce. 4 goes into both of those. That reduces to 6/5. And 6/5 as a mixed number is 1 1/5. So you need 1 1/5 cups of sugar.